Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be dialing in from around the world. Thank you all for joining us for today's webinar, HSAs, FSAs, HRAs, ICHRAs, COBRAs, and LSAs, the world of employer benefits, presented by Novarica Group. I'm Caitlin Labby, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. We'll be starting the webinar shortly, but first let me cover some quick housekeeping items. Today's webinar will be recorded, and a link to view the recording on demand will be available after the session. We will be taking questions at the end of the webinar, so please feel free to submit your questions using the questions feature located in the GoToWebinar toolbar to the right of your screen. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's speakers. Inji Kaya is a strategic advisor on Novarica Group's healthcare payments practice and covers healthcare payments, health IT, evolving market trends, and vendor evaluations and their implications for industry stakeholders. Inji brings to Novarica Group 10 years of experience in advisory research, strategic market insights, and analysis working with financial services, IT service providers, and healthcare industry clients. She is joined today by Elijah Poindexter. Elijah is an associate at Novarica Group, where he works with senior members of the Healthcare Payments Group on research, consultation, and advisory initiatives. So without further ado, I'll now turn it over to Elijah to dive into today's content. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy today's webinar. Take it away, Elijah.
All right. Hey, thanks, Caitlin, for that awesome intro. And hello to everybody joining us on the call today. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the title. This is going to be a pretty meaty webinar. We're really excited to kind of delve into this. But before we get started, I think it'd be helpful to maybe go over some of the market trends that are kind of exogenous to just, talking about the nitty-gritty of account types, more what's going on in the broader sort of healthcare and healthcare payments ecosystem as a whole. So every year we do a top 10 trends report where we kind of go over what we predict or what we're going to kind of foresee as being the top 10 trends in the year ahead. And so on this next slide here, we'll have a couple of the market trends that we predicted back in December of 2021. And then obviously as we near December 2022, this will kind of give us a picture into, what the general landscape and ecosystem looks like. We won't go through all of these today, but we'll go through, some of the big kahuna ones here. Topping off the list here is the Great Resignation, right? So separates innovators from dinosaurs. You'll see that one in terms of the directional arrow. It hasn't really gone up or down. Why is that? Well, because a lot of the story on the Great Resignation, as many of you I'm sure know, has not really been written yet. A lot of the same economic and inflationary pressures that pushed us into that space are still happening now. We're still waiting for the proverbial axe to fall. And so it hasn't really gone up or down, right? Are we just seeing an evolved or modified form of the Great Resignation where it's less, 3 jobs in 5 months with a raise each time, and it's more the quiet quitting side of things? We'll kind of have to leave that up to foresight and come back to that. But, in terms of leading off the list there, the Great Resignation, still very important, still top of mind, still a headline story, but, it hasn't really gone anywhere, to be completely honest. But right below that, you'll see health insurance digs into digital. That's the easiest up arrow you're ever going to see, right? Health insurance has made some amazing strides in the past couple of years, and especially throughout 2022 in terms of digging into that digital toolbox. We can pretty much assume that that'll continue being a trend moving forward. No surprises, right? Similar story there. HSA investors usher in a new era. Similar story there as well. ICHRAs, similar spot to last year. Same thing with health and wealth. TPA consolidation, you'll see it's moving upwards, right? It's an upward trajectory, not at the breakneck speed of some of the other ones, but moving up all the same, and so it will continue to grow in relevance. Payment integrity on the brink of real-time adjudication, cool dashboards. Again, payment integrity, technology vendors and technology specialists, they've made some really amazing strides in the past year as well. But payment integrity, again, is a super complicated space, and so we can't really expect it to just kind of flip overhead into being this super, every aspect of the workflow and ecosystem is completely automated and has tech plugins everywhere. We're getting there. We're getting very close, but we're still not there yet.